Greetings and welcome to yet another low production, low budget, low quality video where we try to make up with it with some points, some passion, some FIFA love. But before we get into that, I wanted to address a comment on my previous YouTube video. Shout out to Puckacheese B29. Thank you for the kind words, my friend, and thank you for the feedback. Basically, the main gist is that he appreciates my long videos, as I do appreciate making them. He tells me that he doesn't want those necessarily to end. He just thinks it's a good idea to make shorter videos, which I agree with. I need to make shorter videos, which would be more digestible for people who aren't maybe as maniacs about FIFA as I am, or people who enjoy those super long videos, because not everyone has the attention span and not everyone's going to watch the whole thing, etc., etc. So by all means, if you guys have ideas for shorter types of videos, which you guys think could work based on my the way I make videos, let me know. For the mechanics types of stuff, there's still going to be long videos because I'd rather repeat myself a little bit more and make it super clear what I think is right. I don't think it's good to be super quick and concise with certain topics, but there's a lot of things I can do in a shorter amount of time. So by all means, let me know. But again, since these videos don't come out too often, like maybe once a week or so, check me out at Stallion on Twitter, dude. It's always a discussion on there. I'll make a tweet about something, whatever's hot, and people, we can converse there. I also tweet when I stream, again on Twitch, Stallion Sama as well, and that's basically a live version of my videos. I'll play the game, and then people just talk about what they think is wrong, and then since I'm a game changer, you can give me feedback that or suggestions that I can take back to EA as well on either of those channels, on Twitter, Twitch. Maybe you can keep doing it on YouTube, doesn't matter. But nonetheless, the video I wanted to talk about today is drop back, and not necessarily how it's OP. We all know it's OP. Dropping back as a tactic, aka the old school parking the bus mentality. But I want to talk about what makes it OP, because it's more than just the AI is OP, therefore drop back is OP. That's not only it. There's more things at play, right? Because the AI was pretty good defensively in FIFA 17, but it was not as effective to park the bus for other reasons, which we're going to get into right now. So why? Why do people choose to use drop back? Why is such a popular tactic? Obviously, the main reason, AI is OP. Makes sense. AI is OP. It's going to make drop back OP because you have more AI players behind the ball to cover spaces for you, etc., etc. But first things first, passing is easy. Passing being easy makes drop back a viable alternative, even more so than it is, in two ways. Number one, counterattacks. Counterattacks are easy because passing is easy. Drop back is a tactic that requires you to give up possession a lot of the time and counterattack fast. If you can counterattack fast, it's also because passing is extremely easy. Therefore, it makes this a viable tactic for you to use. At the same time, another reason why passing being easy pushes people to use drop back, other than the fact that, they can counter fast, is also the fear. The fear of, defending something well, but the game lifts a pass that you had blocked and makes it go through your defender. The game makes a pass that you block go through your legs, and your opponent is through on goal. When passing is easy, and there's not much you can do about it sometimes, because the game, resets trajectories. And again, I've made countless videos on passing to show exactly specifically what I mean in the past. So if you don't get what I mean, and you haven't seen my previous videos, check out the passing videos I'm talking about. But again, the fear itself means that, drop back is going to look that much juicier as an option to use, because you have more men behind the ball that can block more passes. Even though they can still go through, you're decreasing the chances of passing, of bad passes working against you. In a good game where passing was punished and rewarded accordingly, you wouldn't need drop back as a guarantee for you to block a bad pass. You would just block a bad pass regardless, right? Manual defending not being rewarded. If you're gonna put yourself in a situation like I do a lot of the time, because I don't play drop back, where you're gonna have to defend with your center backs or only one CDM while your opponent is running towards your box. I do it because I am confident in my defending. But even when I'm confident in my defending, I still won't get rewarded enough because a shot will go through my legs. A pass will go through my legs. I'll tackle and the ball will go back to him, right? So when you don't reward manual defending, you make me not want to proactively defend. You make me not want to defend the way most people should defend with only your defense and your one or two CDMs. Instead, you make me want to defend with my cams on drop back. Not that I do, but you make me want to choose that as a tactic, and you make everyone want to do that. And it also goes back to the board defender agility. In a 1v1 situation on FIFA 17 or any old FIFA, I'd be very, very confident in marking you, right? If you got past me, you deserved it because you skilled me, you juked me, whatever you want. But I could track you really well. Now, defender agility is not as good as dribbling. Dribbling has evolved. It's bad in the sense that we have a hesitation animations that I talk about in previous videos, but overall, you have more range of movement in dribbling nowadays because it's more modern, but defender agility hasn't kept up, making manual defending not as good as it should be, right? Therefore, another reason why many people select drop back. The nutmegs we've already touched upon a little bit with passing, with shooting, but if those happen so consistently, why would you put yourself in a situation where they can happen even more often? And when they do happen, they're going to cost you a hell of a lot more. Because if you're on drop back, right? Say your whole defense is in the box, the CDMs are on the edge of the box, and you're defending with your cams. If it goes through his legs, it's not going to hurt you as much if it goes through your center back's legs, right? Because your center back is pretty much your last man. And with drop back, you're not really going to defend with your center backs as often. Therefore, drop back makes nutmegs less effective. If your game just didn't have nutmegs and rewarded good interceptions, less people would also need drop back as an option. And then, of course, no balance in 1v1 situations versus brainless attacks. So, right, in my last video, there were a lot of clips that showed how I broke down my drop back using opponent many times, created many 1v1 situations, and missed, right? So you made 1v1s extremely difficult in the sense that even when you get there, you don't score. Whereas brainless attacks, and this is what I refer to them to, often since FIFA 18, one of the most viable ways to score is pass into the striker, turn, shoot. Even though there's a defender right in front of you, it'll go through him, it'll go right by him. You'll get a rebound and get a better shot, stuff like that. That stuff happens. That stuff goes in more consistently than 1v1s, or at least that's what it feels like. The balance is not correct, and therefore, if that's the case, the best way to limit these chances is to go drop back, right? And then the only way you can concede at that point are like 1v1 situations, which your opponent has to break you down for, and even then they're not consistent. But this last point is going to be more clear when the video is over. So first things first, I want to talk about FIFA 18 clips because this is where it stems from, right? So here's some old clips from FIFA 18. I didn't record these recently. They're just old. And here's my goal, right? Nothing really wrong with this goal, but this is what I talk about with defender agility, right? All I do here is take a touch and shoot. Most likely, I didn't account for this gap that I ended up having. It's just I shot for the sake of shooting. I didn't take into account my surroundings. And this is a type of thing where I'm confident that there's more of a chance the shot gets blocked in FIFA 17. Not because the AI is stronger in 17, but because defender agility is better in relation to touches and dribbling. Therefore, he would have been able to cover this space right here. Boom, a lot faster in FIFA 17 with a better responsiveness, right? I just think it's not a bad goal, but at the same time, it's one of them where my opponent can't do much. And this one is much more clear. I shot for the sake of doing a driven shot here. As you can see from the slow-mo, straight through his legs, right? So again, a case of me shooting for the sake of shooting. Me shooting a block shot where he's standing there, regardless of whether he's selecting him. A lot of people say you have to select him. No. You do have to select him, right, to tackle, but you can't punish someone, just because he's not selecting them. You have to punish me for shooting a block shot. Just let this shoot his leg, and then if he's not selecting him, he's going to be super passive afterwards or something. I don't know. But you have to punish me because I'm shooting a blocked shot. That comes first, regardless of who he's selecting. Maybe the solution to that is that the AI becomes so bad that I know he's not selecting him, so I dribble up. He doesn't really move fast, and then I have the angle, right? But I can't just shoot and expect it to go through him because he's not selecting him. No, I have to create an angle. Then we can talk about who's selecting who. Here, again, another case, pretty obvious. Shot into Ramos, goes through his legs, bounces up Ferdinand. When this type of stuff happens, you want to put as many people behind the box as possible, right? Because you're not punishing bad shot choices. Here again, we're going to have a slow-mo here, and you can tell from the slow-mo that this is a shot that was initially blocked, and he doesn't do the slide tackle. It's hard to prove, but anyone who's played enough FIFA knows that when you hold L2 and you mark, sometimes the player you're holding L2 to jockey with defensively does automatic animations like this guy here. And this was not a manual slide tackle to the left. This is the game automatically trying to cover a shot for him, except he's covering somewhere I was never going to shoot. Had he stood still, this shot gets blocked. And I got punished for driven shotting for the sake of driven shotting because it's FIFA 18, right? If he stays still, this gets blocked. If stuff like this happens, of course you're going to want to play drop back, right? Because you're not rewarded for manually blocking somewhere, for being at the right place at the right time, and you're not punished, right? When you know you're playing against someone who won't get punished if he takes a block shot, you're going to want to limit those situations and play drop back. Here, a horrific pass. Horrific pass, because it's a through ball when he's not close enough to Ferdinand to account for overtaking him with pace. Also, this should magnetize to Nainggolan, or my Ferdinand should be active enough, but, this is a good example. This also relates to a lot of the passing examples I had in my passing videos, and he somehow gets through. Ferdinand is super active. When these sort of passes happen, and I'm not playing park the bus, at that point, my thing is like, all right, I'm going to go park the bus. My defense is going to be here. My CDMs are going to be here. My cams are going to be here. So good luck breaking that down with that pass. If these passes happen, then obviously people's reaction is going to be, let me put more people behind the ball. And this is one of the worst goals I've ever conceded, in the sense that when I looked at it, I was like in shock. So this is the moment he presses pass, right? And at first I was like, is he doing a 1-2 with Pogba? Regardless of that, the ball goes to Ronaldo. And regardless of the fact that whether he's aiming for Ronaldo or not, it doesn't matter if you're aiming for Ronaldo. He's clearly blocked. He's not really making an intention to run this way. Even if he was, this angle is insane. Right foot, first time shot with Messi. 4-star weak foot. It's not that big of a, even if a 5-star weak foot player or a right-footed player did this pass, these two should be more than active enough to block this pass, right? It's just not a good pass because Ronaldo's behind them. But what happens is extraordinary. I get auto switched to the wrong dude. I get auto switched to Rijkaard, I believe, whereas I think it was Benatia or something, doesn't. I don't get blocked, selected into him, which would have given me a shot to maybe intercept this, but probably not. And they're both inactive, and it's just a bad pass, right? You gotta punish this pass first. Like I showed in my previous videos, how in FIFA 17 this sort of pass would have probably gone to him, or him, and they would have been active. He would have been active. He would have been inactive. But because it's FIFA 18, he's active and my CBs are inactive, and a bad pass results in a goal. But here we go into, so again, when passing is this easy, that instills fear, right? Like I said, not only does easy passing make counterattacks more viable, so drop back becomes a more viable tactic, it also creates fear. I'm scared of these passes happening a lot. I was scared in FIFA 18, and I'm still scared in FIFA 19 because they're bad passes. So because of this fear, I'm like, I need to put as many people behind the ball and make it that much harder for these passes to work. Now here in FIFA 19, these next couple of clips are me manually defending. Here I'm manually defending with Varane, and you could tell with my jockey movement. Perfect manual defending. I'm right in front of him, goes through my legs, right? So if this type of things happened, needless to say that it takes away my desire to manually defend, and it makes me think, all right, let me defend with my striker and go drop back and cover with that, because even if I manually cover it, I think my AI is going to have more of a shot to block it than myself. Here, I'm manually jockeying with Kondogbia, you could tell. A horrific shot through my legs, nutmeg nation. If these types of things happen, of course, drop back is going to be a more viable option, or not even more viable, more attractive. More people are going to go for it, because when all else fails, go that. Now, these are examples of clips where I break down someone who does AI defending. Not AI defending, but drop back. And some of these, not all of these should have been goals, but you could see the work I put in to create the chances, and we'll get back to that. Here, a really good play where we pretty much used every single type of pass, and we ended up breaking him down. But as you would have seen in my previous video about goalkeeper movement, I don't score this, right? Which is unfortunate, as we look at yet another chance. Actually, no, this is the clip which showed how he moved his keeper to the other side and he still saved it. And then here in this clip, I think this is the last one, where we break him down always from the left flank and we cut inside. That's where my 4-3 gets pretty deadly usually. And we just patient here, and we still miss that, right? So when that type of stuff doesn't work, and in the same game this works, right? Because I'm not playing drop back, right? I'm not playing drop back, so he's able to do this sort of brainless attack, right? One pass to Neymar, touch, shoot. That's all he did. If this type of stuff works, and my 1v1 doesn't work, of course I'm gonna want to play drop back, because I don't play drop back, which means these types of attacks become more viable. And why do they become more viable? Because defender agility isn't good. I didn't do well here to defend, but I guarantee you in FIFA 17, I never give him this angle to shoot because defender agility is great. It's great, and I can cover this a lot more easily. Not to mention the fact that I probably had like 20 minutes of input delay here. We know how gameplay always feels awful most of the time anyways nowadays. So, add into the fact connection, and that already makes it hard to track him. Add to the fact that defender agility is nowhere near as good relative to dribbling now as it was in FIFA 17, so it's harder to track. And it's too easy to score these brainless attacks. So how do you stop these brainless attacks to work? How do you make a simple pass, turn, and shoot stop from working as much? You go drop back, because that takes away so much more space when this guy might have been here, center back here, and then I have two CDMs here ready to react to when he turns and shoot. And even if I miss him with a CDM, I have another line of players, as opposed to not playing drop back, and I have nothing to protect me from if I mess up with my defenders, right? There's nothing anymore here, right? So again, there's nothing wrong with this goal. But relative to the 1v1s, if it's this easy to turn and shoot because connection is bad, defender agility is bad, etc., and then 1v1s miss when I do break down, is it obvious? I think it's pretty obvious. Let me know what you guys think. I hope I made myself clear. And on that note, boys, we'll see you next time. Peace.